that on with the show.
And the goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
Excellent. So,
good enough for rapping.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band and show.
and listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band. Like,
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
but this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot, up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar. Tonight is episode 200. Who would have thunk it? So I've gathered some of my friends and guest co-hosts and some special guests. Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese, surrounded by a gaggle of co-hosts. And you are listening to your next favorite band. I can't believe it. 200 episodes.
Yeah.
Impressive. Congrats.
Good job.
Yeah, and so tonight we have Kate Hughes, Jeff Wentz, James McLean, Greg Provenzo, and then two music guests. They're not going to perform, but we do share some of their music. But people who were, pretty formative over the last 100 episodes. We made a bigger deal out of episode 100. I did not plan to do something for this one, but a couple weeks back, the person I had slotted for this week had to reschedule, and they moved it into like late March. And then it dawned on me that I was like, I think this is the universe telling me I should make something of that episode because I counted. I was like 196, 187, it was like, oh, it's 200. I'm not going to try and find somebody, 1 month out to fill in. And I was just like, you know what, let's make it that. And then I started to say, well, who would I want to bring on from a guest standpoint? And actually, episode 100, who I brought on was George Wacker, who was how I kind of found my way to the microphone. Our first, 16 or 17 interviews were under Lehigh Valley with Love music. Then we branched off, and who was the first ever interview on Lehigh Valley with Love music was Blair Crimmins. So I had Blair Crimmins on. And then at the same time, my favorite band that I had discovered through the use of the podcast was Carver Commodore. And so I was like, let's just follow that similar format, and I'll bring on formative people who, kind of helped me feel like I could do this. And then who was episode 1 under the name Your Next Favorite Band was Mike Maines. So he came on. Wow. And then who is my current kind of like favorite band that I found through this show is Smokey Brights. So they came on. So I pre-recorded conversations with Mike and with Smokies. And then all of you agreed to come on. And Kate, I want to start with you. Smokey Brights, you actually made me, you helped me discover them. I've heard them on your radio show. So that's what I love. Exactly this. Thank you very much for that.
We wouldn't have this show tonight if it weren't for me. So.
That's very true. It'd be half as long. But that's, I think, the other part about this is, even though I'm each week trying to bring people's next favorite bands to them, I love hearing from other people and learning from other people who they're listening to. In fact, Jeff, you have somebody that you introduced me to where I'm currently scheduling with. So spoiler alert, something coming up there. And Greg and James, we've all shared music all the time, and then we just have this awesome experience here, whether it's virtually or in person in Music Fest or all of the above. But kind of just wanted to give you each a moment to just speak to this and if anything you would want to share. But Kate, we'll start with you.
Oh gosh. Well, first of all, thanks for thinking of me and thanks for having me on. I love Smokey Brights. And I remember when that happened, you texted me like, who is this?
Yeah, I was at work listening to your radio show because it was Mondays. And I was, that particular song came on. I'm like, oh, Mango's wreaking havoc.
She is.
In the Scottish castle. But I just remember being at work going like, what in the world is this song? And it just had stopped the whole, kind of day. And I was like, I have to find out who this is.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, we worked together there for a little while. You giving me music, so I was like, I'll give him one. Giving me like 100, I'll give him one.
Yeah, no, it was so fun because like I would just give you whoever was the guest on that week, and I was like, hey, play this song.
That was great. Yeah, and I've always, it's so funny. I've always liked listening to music. I prefer that over television. Like I've always had music playing in the house. It's hard for me to kind of sit still. But I'm noticing I had a radio show for a long, long time, and we'll see what happens if I can get back to that. But
it's the funding cuts and such are just like obviously devastating stuff like that. So it's
very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I feel like what did we say earlier? Everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the universe's way of saying that I should be on the 200th show.
There we go. And anybody who has an open radio spot out there, Kate's available.
I'm available.
Yes. Greg, how about you? You're repping my merch and everything. I love it.
First and foremost, congratulations on 200. It's amazing.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. But now I've had the pleasure of obviously known you for a long time, but the last few years coming up to Bethlehem was one of my favorite times of the year.
Yep.
And you introduced me to all sorts of genres of music. It's it's fantastic. And I like to say I consider myself, Phil, your number one fan.
I love it. And we've discovered together Dawn of the Buffalo because I had never heard of them before, but they were on the must-see bands of Music Fest the first time you came up. Yeah. And we're about to go back out and see them in Richmond. We're going to head down and check them out together at a local venue by you.
Yeah, in March, a venue I've not been to, and so I'm excited. You and your wife are going to come down. We're going to have it's going to be an awesome show. It's going to be the second time my wife and I got to see them at a different venue here in Richmond a year and a half ago, and they just put on a great show. And her voice, I think, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, I love them, and I think too. The great part about this is it's at the Beacon Theater, which apparently I guess maybe every major city in the country has a theater called Beacon Theater because it's just I couldn't barely find it when I started searching for it. It's like
just south of the city. I've heard the venue's phenomenal. I've been to all the other concert venues. And,
it looks beautiful.
Theaters.
I looked at the pictures. It looks like one of those very typical like probably silent film movie theater in the 1920s that got turned into a venue, and it just looks like it's awesome.
Now, there's some similar ones in Charlottesville, not far from here, that actually Dave Matthews is behind the scenes. They bought these old theaters and converted them into like concert venues, and it's no more than 1,500 people, 1,000 people, and so it's just so intimate.
Yep,
they're fantastic. So we're gonna have a great time.
Awesome, looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Jeff Wentz.
Hello.
How are you? Another person traveling far, many miles for Music Fest. I just want to check in with you.
Yeah, I'm being the Texas contributor to
that's right
for the program. It's been great. You know me, I thought you were crazy starting this from the beginning. I never thought you'd make it through 5 episodes. So 200 episodes is really amazing.
That's a really good friend right there.
And I've told you all along, this is nuts. No, I think it's great. I've applauded you throughout this entire process. I've been envious of you in pursuing something that you truly love, and it's awesome. And to be a part of it, to kind of contribute every now and then. I think the first time I contributed was through a cell phone on the way to a Tears for Fears concert.
That's right.
And I believe the parking attendant also contributed. I believe he was on the screen because I was using my phone, and our parking pass was on the app on my phone, and so he ended up being on screen.
Actually, that is true. Now that I think about it, Kate, I think you and I just didn't know each other yet, but all Jeff, Greg, and James, you were all on that. That was the basically the intro to your next favorite band, and we were sharing highlights from the prior interviews with George, and I kind of boiled them down to only be like maybe 10 minutes long, just so we could rip through them all. And I had each of you on like at different points interspersed throughout it, and it was just like our way to kind of transition, like, hey, this is episode 1 or whatever, but it's not the first time we're doing it. Here's some content we had previously. Weirdly enough, we put that out as one giant like 2.5 hour episode on the podcast. Normally I would break that up, but I was like, the hell with it, I'll just upload the whole thing. It still gets downloaded to this day. Like because I think people must see 2.5 hours. What the hell is this thing going to be about? And they're probably very disappointed when they throw it
Is my
out.
name there? Because
Yes.
if my name's there,
There is a Clan McLean reference to it. But yeah, James, let's hear from you again. Like the local, concert goer that I often check out.
I'm part of the Lehigh Valley contingent, and just like you said, another music lover. Just so happy to be able to be part of the inside track on how you're putting this whole thing together. It's so neat. When we're hanging out and, people are recognizing you or saying, hey, blah, blah, and it's kind of like, hey, no.
That was a very odd. So, like, this was the first time it had happened at Music Fest where, like, we got stopped. And I was just like, that's so fun and weird. And it was kind of cool.
It's kind of fun.
Jeff and I felt like your security details.
Right.
I kind of felt like that going to Black Keys concert. It felt a little bit like people were like,
Yes.
next favorite band crew coming through. Check them out. We kind of walked in late. We went right to the VIP section. It looked like we were very
slow walk.
we did.
But who got us in the VIP section was Richard Liu. Nothing to do with me whatsoever.
No one needed to know that.
No, I mean, also I needed not bodyguards. I needed crutches because I barely could speak by the end of that night. It was just the exhaustion of a whole 10 days of it, but I gladly do it in search of all this stuff. But one thing we were putting out there on the socials was like just asking, did this show or, was there ever an introduction to a band you never heard of? Is there anybody that just comes off the top of your mind that was found through this, either through an interview or through the different show in different ways? I just always love hearing, like, was there a certain band that was like now become a favorite that you just never would have heard of otherwise?
For me, I'll jump in. We were just talking about winning a Grammy as Archive. I never would have ever came across them if you didn't introduce them to me and all that. And they're fantastic.
Yeah, and super kudos to them. So Jonathan and Philip of the band Arkai, Arkai. A great interview, two incredibly kind people, and then also probably the most brilliant people we've had on the show. That did make the number of Grammys of interviewers on this show, interviewees, go from 0 to 1. So like now, it's sky's the limit at this point.
Yeah, right.
This is a stepping stone.
That's exactly right. You got to go from 0 to 1 somewhere, but now we're going to get exponential from here. But yeah, no, that is. I think you're right too about like if you just were to hear somebody describe, okay, it's a guy on a violin and a guy on a cello, like okay, but then when you listen to it, it just blows your mind, and then when you see it live, it's even more mind blowing.
It's a performance, definitely. As they put on performance,
Yeah.
Not only great music but a performance. It's great.
Yeah.
I've always been I'm still on my playlist repeatedly. Bandits on the Run. Learned it through you, and then saw them and all that. Just the harmony. There's such a tight group, and the lyricism, everything about them.
Sure.
Wouldn't have found them any other way.
Yeah, no, and that's cellos are 2 for 2 right now. But what I love is there's bands that I've seen visually and been like, oh my gosh, I can't not go and see that. Like again, Music Fest is beautiful for this because you'll just be walking by a stage and you're like, what the hell is going on in there? And Bandits on the Run was woman playing a cello, guy playing an acoustic guitar, and has like a suitcase kick drum. Like he just
like think Dick Van Dyke, kind of thing.
Absolutely. And then the other woman is playing like either a melodica or an accordion. So like you're just looking at this thing going like, what in the world? And then you're hearing these gorgeous soaring harmonies. And again, super, super nice people. Like the interview with them was awesome. Basically, they were doing it right off of like Sydney, who's the cello player. She was in a show that was off Broadway, and they had just done their like Sunday matinee, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll just do it in the evening time after that." And I was like, "Wait, you just did a performance like on stage? The last thing you want to do is come on some fakakta podcast." And they're like, "No, we'll do it." So anyway, just super awesome people, and again, yeah, supremely talented.
I think for me, just because of the connection with my daughter, being able to go and see, I think it was Arcadian Wild that came down to Dallas, and introducing her to that, going to a concert with her, and then that even introduced her to another band that was not necessarily on your show, but that she now follows as well. And she she bought one of their albums while we were there. She bought the album of the opening act that was there. So just kind of having that connection where it was bands that I listened to on your show, and then to share that with my daughter, who is now thinks that her dad's choice of music is actually good. Crap.
Congratulations.
It's much better. Yeah.
Doesn't always happen that way.
No, it doesn't. It took a few years.
Yeah.
Son still hasn't quite jumped onto the team, but we're still hoping.
That's cool. That's actually, cello is 3 for 3 now. This is cello in that band. No pressure, Kate. But
I know. Geez.
Yeah, Arcadian Wild. I think they were at episode 4 for us, and they have released new music since then. We tried to coordinate an interview, it just didn't happen. We were trying to do it in person, and when that didn't fall into place, it's just kind of like moved beyond that. They're releasing new music again in 26, and we're gonna coordinate something. Check out a particular song by them if you get a chance, called Civil War. It's written by Isaac, and he wrote it about how his own mind lets him down, and he's feeling like he's somewhat at war with himself at times. And I've asked him to possibly try and come on as like a lead-in to Listen to the Dissonance, because it's not only obviously a very interesting topic to talk about and a way to talk about it, but it's also so geniusly written that it's in like some weird time signatures and stuff to make you feel like your brain is messing up with you, because like he's designed the song to feel like jarring and stuff. So like, give it a listen. It's one of the most brilliant songs you'll ever listen to, especially once you know the backstory, which is why I'd love to have him come on and talk about it. But yeah, their music in general is just some of the most gorgeous stuff. I've I famously said to them, and hopefully didn't make them too uncomfortable, but I said, I hope that when I pass away, I walk around in the afterlife set to the music of the Arcadian Wild. And they were like silent for a few seconds, and I was like, I think I made them feel weird.
You're like, was that?
And they were like, that's the best compliment anyone's ever given us. And I think that was where some people have said, you fanboy out too much on the show. And I'm like, then don't listen. I don't care. I want to tell these people how brilliant they are. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. They're fantastic.
No, it's good. Your enthusiasm for music obviously very much shines through in everything that you do. So, yeah. I would have to say, I don't know, Emma Bachroth, love her.
Oh, and,
yeah. Shug Daniels.
Excellent.
Such a great singer. Roy and the Secret People, or just Roy. He's awesome. Yep. Galen Deary. I mean, I did know him before you, but yeah, great.
Yeah. I love too. You're going with all the locals, either Lehigh Valley or Philly. Like that's really awesome. Yeah. And I think that also just speaks to the talent we have here. Like, Jeff, you have Austin, Texas by you. Obviously, there's Nashville, and there's a bunch of other like music scenes around the world. I really love our music scene right here. Like, I think perhaps obviously having a music festival like Music Fest just is inspiring to younger people to want to go and do that. But we also have School of Rock, which James, your son came through and is now off at Berkeley School of Music. So it's like there's something in the water here in the Lehigh River, but it's definitely just infectious in a way that just brings it attracts good musicians, or it just simply inspires a young talented musicians to want to do it more and more. So really awesome stuff. So yeah, if anyone else out there has bands that kind of were introduced to you through the show, we just love to hear that. And then of course, if you have who should be our next favorite band, let us know. So always open to that. And like we said, Smokey's later on is a very living proof of that one. But yeah, so we're gonna play the interview here with Mike Maines. And we did touch on Listen to the Dissonance there a little bit, you'll hear like some of the origin of Listen to the Dissonance, which came through a conversation with Mike Maines and his performance that happened right after the interview. And then we'll kind of preview and promo that when we come back off of the Mike interview, because that event is happening later this month, and hopefully more and more people can come to it. But here, take a listen to my chat with Mike Maines, episode number 1 of Your Next Favorite Band. But this was the latest chat with him. Here, spending some time with very much a foundational guest for this show. Welcome to the show, Mike Maines.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me, Phil.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. So what's interesting is when I did episode 100, we brought on like a formative person who helped me navigate my way to developing a podcast. Guest number 1 that was on ever for like me doing interviews, and then like my next favorite band at that time. This time around, it's very, very similar, where what you are was guest number 1 for this show. You were episode number 1 for Your Next Favorite Band. And then here we are now at 200 episodes later.
Come on, man. Incredible.
And yeah, so thank you for just all the support you've always shown the show, and for your incredible music. But just kind of honored to bring you on again here to just kind of catch up and chat and see what's happening with you. And I understand there might be some new music in the near future.
Guilty as charged, my friend. And congrats to you. I mean, 200 episodes is, I mean, goodness gracious, that's amazing. So many, many, many congratulations to you. I'm honored to be any guest, whether it's 100 or you're like, this is your last time, I'm sick of you, man.
That will never happen. No, there is often the, I often say this, like, so obviously with, like, I might be just meeting somebody for the first time, cocktail party kind of conversation, and it'll just come up, oh, I do this podcast, and everyone has a podcast. So they're like, oh, what's yours called? And I say, it's Your Next Favorite Band. And then they sometimes, if they like music, it'll be a much nicer conversation. But sometimes they'll be a little bit like, I don't know if they've had a drink or what too, but they'll be like, oh, well, who's my next favorite band? And I'm always like caught in a spot there, because like it's going to be so different for so many different people. And so like I would rather have the ability to say, well, you know, who do you listen to now, or what genres do you prefer? And then I can kind of get into it. But if I have almost no time and I just have to name somebody, you're on a very short list of people that I know I can mention that, and they will walk away with somebody who just produces such great music that it will definitely be their next favorite band.
Man, well, thank you. I'm humbled by that. Really, truly.
Yeah. No, it's such great stuff, and it's one of those bands too. And the other guest on tonight is very similar, where I'm like, they can't possibly produce another one that just is so good, and then it just keeps happening. Like, it just is so great when you find somebody who's just a melody maker that just it fits my ears perfectly. So like, it's just great. So I can't wait for the new stuff to come out too. But I don't want to say older stuff. The prior catalog is still just worthy of a re-listen all the time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think for me, I continue to be surprised by the joy of knowing that there are people listening. You know,
Sure.
I think I spent the better part of my 20s like with this chip on my shoulder to find whatever success was and try to grow the band into this like arena rock thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I in the last like 4 years or so, I can't remember who said it. It was this guy. Oh, Michael Hyatt. He's kind of this like, I don't know. I would say like a Stephen Covey type, but I remember I have, ADHD, and I read one of his like books, and he quoted his wife in it saying like, we lose our way when we lose our why. And for me, like music was always, in the best times for me is being in a small room like my bedroom and making art as a way to sort of process what I'm going through or what's happening in the world. And so in many ways, I still feel like a 16-year-old kid trying to figure that out. And I'm just...
that's probably why the music is still so relevant for so many people, because it's still coming at it with such a, childhood mystery and energy. It's very cool. And I think too, people should listen to your full catalog because it's been on such a journey. Like there was a very Christian tone to the music in the first album. Not Christian music, but it was there. It was present. And then you're navigating life issues through the second one, and then now mental health issues in the third one, and wherever this goes to next. But it's like there's such a maturity that's happening with the music, and it's going to resonate in some way, shape, or form lyrically wherever you might be, because this is another thing that you kind of really open my eyes and ears to, of something can be a real pop banger and yet still be talking about a very dark thing.
Yeah.
And so like you might be dancing or bebopping along, especially if it's live, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, did he just say what I think he said?
Yeah.
But that's what, again, it makes it very relevant for somebody who might be going through some things, and you get caught at it at a vulnerable time, like at a festival that maybe you weren't expecting, and then you realize, I got some stuff to work on.
Yeah. I think that's what I love about comedy and drama. I think that great dramas are pretending to be dramas, but underneath of it, they're comedies. And
yes,
I think vice versa is also true. I feel like they're riding this sort of razor edge between like these crushing lows and soaring highs of the human experience. So I mean, to quote one of the greats, Tom Waits, he said, I love beautiful melodies telling me terrible things. I've probably mentioned that in any podcast.
I love it. I've mentioned it to other musicians, and this one person had this amazing response. They go, that sounds like something I'll be tattooing on my body next.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that, I don't know. What I can say is I feel like there's the album that I thought I was writing, which is what always happens to me. Everyone asks me, like, why does it always take you like 4 years or 3 years between records? I'm like, well, there's the record I thought I was writing, and then most of that gets put on a shelf.
Right.
And then all of these other songs that I didn't see coming start to show up, and I go, oh, I thought it was this, but it's that. But you can't recognize this without that, No.
Right. Yeah. You need the perspective on it, and you do a bunch of producing. You're producing music for other people.
Yeah, man, and that's been amazing. Like,
I can imagine. I can see that in your posts. That that makes you very proud of that level of contribution.
It's very humbling for someone to say, like, I think about it almost in like Star Wars terms. Like it's like a Luke Skywalker or Rey Skywalker, like looking for their Obi-Wan or their Luke, right? And you're somehow like foolish and stupid enough to suggest that, like, oh yeah, sure, I can take you on this journey. And really, like, every time I'm like, I don't know, there's always my mentors that are producers and great writers say, like, anytime they're about to embark on a big project, they always deal with like crazy imposter syndrome. Sure. But I think like the joy of working with other artists, is I can sort of table all of the self-driven ego stuff. I can lay all that aside for a while and be in service to the art and the journey of another individual, which is very freeing.
Yep.
And then I learn a lot from them. I learn a lot from the way they approach chord progressions and melody and lyrics, and that's really cool because I'm there to walk on a journey with them and sort of be a guide and a partner. But then I feel like they end up teaching me way more than I could have shared with them. So
because I bet you what I would imagine is a contribution there is you have in your head some sort of rules around, oh, you don't do it that way, or you can't do it this way, and then somebody comes at it without those same rules, and you're like, how did you even think to do that? But it was your own kind of like, you were in your own way in not ever allowing yourself to go there, and now these people have shown you, well, you can do it that way, it's fine. And it's like, oh, cool. So I think that might be part of it is some of those like these kind of unwritten rules or unwritten laws that are just only stifling creativity.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And so this new music that might be coming out, anything you can kind of give us a little bit of a teaser on it? Like what can we expect?
Man, it's going to be very different. I think for folks that are expecting like just like another whatever the run of the mill Mike Mains and the Branches record, it won't be that. It's very different than anything I've ever done before, and that for me is exciting because I think I guess the one thing that I can say is like in terms of the way that it will sound, it's going to be way more organic and feel like very close and intimate in the way that it's recorded. Like, you know, I really want the listener to feel like they're in the room listening to the song. But then lyrically, I feel like I'm looking out at these situations that I'm seeing other people go through. And like Shannon and I, my partner, we were hanging out with some dear neighbors of her folks. So let me try to set the scene here. We spent a lot of time in northern Michigan throughout the year. Her folks have this really cool little cottage up there. And
and it's where you're originally from.
Yeah, originally from Michigan. And that's like our heaven on earth. And so Shannon's parents have like neighbors 2 doors down. Names are Peggy and Renee. God bless them both. And Renee was this insane painter. Like paintings are in like galleries all over the country, most recently in New Mexico. And we hung out with Peggy and Peggy's sister because Peggy's partner Renee had just passed a few months ago from cancer. And so we just got to listen to all of these stories about this beautiful spirit that was Renee, this artist who we met one time during the summer on a walk. And it just felt like she was there and in the room. And I was starting to think like, you know, the poets are right. Everything that we love, we lose. Yeah. Like everything that we love, we lose. And if that's true, like if I go before Shannon and she is saying farewell, you know, or if it's the other way around, like, man, I want to confront that reality so I can live with that, and that can inform the way that I'm loving my partner, that I'm writing my songs. So hanging out with Peggy, hearing about her partner Renee and being so inspired, I literally wrote a song
that's awesome.
from her partner, who sailed to the other side, Renee. It was like Renee was sort of wanting to have a conversation with Peggy and that. So I felt like I wrote that song. So stuff cool. Like that, like I'm excited. And there's been, a shit ton of death in my and not just my life, I think globally, my goodness, man. I just, before we hopped in, Catherine O'Hare, man, like God rest her soul, man. What's happening? So I think death will be a very close companion on the next record.
And you're right. I think that is also 2 things about it. It'll be something that yet again is something that'll resonate with a listener. And I think the way you're talking about it is a way I think a lot of people could benefit from it, of like kind of embrace the inevitability of it so that it doesn't catch you so flat-footed. And then just remember to kind of like cherish every day and celebrate the life of people who you have lost. So like, I think there's an element to that of you can have grief, you can have sorrow and such. But I don't think the people who we've lost would ever want to see us be so crippled by it that we can't move on.
Yeah, man, that's so well said. Yeah. I had a gal in this, there's like it's called Centering Prayer. It's like kind of like this mystical, like ancient like form of like, I guess some would call it like Christian mystic spirituality, but it's essentially like the mystical version of like a Zen Buddhist meditation. But I go to a place and I practice that here in town, and one of the gals there said, joy is our greatest form of rebellion. And I think about what's happening in the world. I think about losing the ones that we love. I think about these precious musicians that we've lost, and I'm like you said, man, we owe it to them to find our spark and our joy. And we owe it to them to do what we can to leave the world a little better.
And honor their memory and carry it forward. Yeah, that kind of thing for sure. So I think that based on the way that you're talking about the way you wrote about this, I think could also be very therapeutic for people in a way. And that just brings us to this other point. Another element to this, and there's a whole thing to unpack here, but people probably should just watch, in addition to being on episode 1, which they definitely should watch because there's more of your personal history in that one. And again, more of that earlier music. But when you were coming out with your latest album, we did meet again. Yeah. And it was very much the inspiration that whole day, our talk in the green room of Ardmore Music Hall, followed by your performance that night, was where Listen to the Dissonance was kind of born as a concept. And basically, the whole point of this, again, it's important for people to know, when you came on for episode 1, it was June of 2022, which is a very dark time for you. Yeah. And you did say something that day. The only thing you ever even hinted at was, at some point in the interview, you go, well, I did ride the struggle bus all the way to this interview today. But that was it. And it didn't impact anything, and we just kind of moved on. But when I then learned, when we met for the second episode, when you shared with me what was going on for you at that time, that phrase had stuck in my head since you said it, and then it all made a ton of sense. But again, people can kind of go back and listen to both episodes to kind of get some perspective on that. The main thing I wanted to talk about here was just how Listen to the Dissonance was born, and get your take on, because you kind of headlined that first one. We're doing our 3rd annual one later this month. Was basically, you were very vulnerable. You were sharing the mental health journey you were on, the help you sought, and now you were kind of ready to share that with people so that you could kind of give people, I think, the hope to say, hey, listen, no matter how dark it is, no matter where you feel you were, you're not alone, and you can go get help. And so your bravery with that, you said on stage that night. So we finished the interview, and I was just like, wow, this is a really powerful episode. Let me edit this together and show it to you. And then that night, though, this is where it happened. You talked about your suicide attempt, and you played the song Around the Corner. And then when I went to just go say goodbye to you at the merch table, there were at least 2, there might have been more, people who were lined up to just say thank you to you with tears in their eyes and talk about how they struggle, and now they don't feel alone, and now they could turn to this song the next time they feel so dark. Yeah. And so that was where it just was like, okay, we can do that. Like, we can make this happen. And that was where we pulled together Listen to the Dissonance. And you were basically a foundational part of that whole thing, because there it all was on display. So again, thank you for that. Honor. But then, like I said, like we kind of bring this all together. And now we're going to do our 3rd annual. But I kind of wanted to get your take on that first year and just kind of how that happens. Because I'm sure that I'm sure every night that you share a story and that whether people probably come up to you. And I just kind of wanted to maybe give you a platform to kind of speak to that.
Like kind of navigating, especially that for the first year after.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, that was a circus.
Yeah.
There's when you're coming out of that, when you're in like crazy, like suicidal ideation, like what the hell am I doing here? You have somebody who's willing to step in, your partner, your wife, and then you're willing to say, hey, dude, like I got to go get help. Phase 1 for me, I would say like the first 4.5, almost 5 months, like I was in treatment facilities, you know, and like kind of unzipping my head and, you know, putting my brain under a microscope and trying to figure out like what is going on in there, what's going on the inside. So you're really, you're digging and kind of discovering what's happening inside your inner reservoir, you know? And so it's necessary. It's sort of like a spiritual and psychological triage that's occurring. And you kind of have to understand, what are the things that I went through? What are the stories that I made up about those experiences that are now sort of the subconscious default, like setting that's driving, you know, my emotional car throughout my life, right?
Yeah.
So that it's very deep work, very, very deep work. I'm very grateful that I was able to do that. And then I kind of came out of that back into like the normal world and had a few, crash landings. It wasn't smooth. My
I'm sure
doctor at the time put me on some weird medications, and it took, I would say, like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. But I think that too was important for people to hear, because I think people who do ask for help after years of either not acknowledging itself, feeling like it was something to be embarrassed about, or just simply the humility that it takes to speak up and say, I need help, to then have it not go well, I think is got to be soul crushing. And not realizing that's common and that's part of it. And you have to hopefully have the confidence or the strength to go and ask for a second time or a third, or just simply know it's going to take 6 months. So I think those are powerful things for people to hear as well. And that's what I mean about like, too, you now not only going through it and coming out on the other side for your own health and well-being and your families, but also sharing that with others in a vulnerable way, so that even if just one audience member now realizes I'm not alone, or oh, maybe I should also go ask for help, is so strong and so powerful. And I just commend you for that, because it's really making a difference for people, and there's got to be countless stories of how that affected people on the road.
Well, I've heard a few, and every time I do, I'm overwhelmed with joy. And to know that I, as a person who went to shows as a kid growing up and felt less alone as a result of those musicians and those bands that I grew up on, the main reason that I got into music was because I felt I had a debt that I owed. I remember
interesting
being 15 years old and going and seeing this band, like Poison the Well, Murder by Death, and Thursday, like these incredible bands. And I remember being at that show and saying, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, because these musicians, these bands, these songs that speak to such low, painful, brash, unbearable darkness and sorrow, the fact that someone's willing to shine a light into all of that darkness mirrored my darkness and the weight and the shame I was carrying. And I just felt like I owe it to these guys to be just a small part. And, that part of humanity that's willing to speak to the sadness and the darkness, and also say, there's hope. And for me, I would, if I could be so bold as to make a recommendation, there's 2 books I would encourage anyone who's struggling with mental health. The number 1 book that I would say to read is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He was a survivor of Auschwitz, and talks about his time there. And, that I think that could really, really help people. And then it's a book that I think kind of builds off of that, but it's way more practical in terms of someone who's really struggling, and they feel like, I kind of need to get my life together. I kind of need to get my shit together. Buy and read the book Hero on a Mission by Donald Miller. That will completely change your life and like give you a grid work and like a framework for arranging your days to have meaning. Because I think personally, I think that above everything that people are struggling with, I think people have a meaning crisis.
Yeah.
Like, and not meaning like, let's argue about Buddhism or Christianity or Republican or Democrat. I mean, like, when you're dead and gone, what do you want your life and your legacy and what you were about to mean?
Yeah.
And like being connected to that on a daily basis. Like, I am here because I've been given the gift of my life. And when I'm dead and gone, I want Shannon, I want my listeners, I want my audience, I want the people that I mentored, I want them to say that they felt like the sun was shining on them when I was with them, that I made them feel like they could be somebody, that their darkest night could also be the very first step on this beautiful journey. And like, that sure as shit beats an early exit because I was having a bad day, it's a reason to stick around. And I think if people can find whatever that story is for them It's not going to make any of the hard times easier.
No,
but it will make them bearable.
Yes. Yeah.
Forgive my monologue.
No. That was beautifully put. And I think that's the other part is sometimes people just need that. I just need to feel like tomorrow will be better than today.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where a powerful song performed by a musician that they know resonated in a similar dark way that they do can help them feel like, let me just put this song on and it'll help me get to tomorrow and I'll worry about it then. And so I think that's something that you're doing and others who are doing similar work where they're putting their struggles and their journey into a song, perhaps only to just get it out of themselves, but then just how that just means something to so many other people who can feel that same way. It's just I find it magical. Like I just find music is magical already, but then when it can do this, I'm just like, holy shitballs. Like just it's like man. So I wanted to share this with you before I get to what I'm going to share. I just wanted to kind of take a moment to talk about this year's lineup, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I thought, So this year's lineup, first of all, look at this artwork.
Dude, that is gorgeous. Stunning
art by Hannah Taylor. She's a Philadelphia-based musician and visual artist. So she does great music, and she's been on the show before, but she did just this stunning design for this. But so this year's show will be on Friday, February 27th, so we're about 3.5 weeks out. Bethlehem in the Ice House, that's where it's been all 3 years. Doors at 6, show at 7. The reason why there's an hour is there's last year there were 9, so we're trying to just bring back all the same mental health organizations. So there's these tabling organizations who provide various different services. So it's your chance to find out more about what's available within our community. Either you might need it, you might have a loved one who might need it, or just simply to be aware of it. And if it speaks to you, you could also find ways to either donate time or money to them. It's just simply to realize just how many special organizations and human beings there are in our community to help people in need. And then the musicians. So we have Judah Kim, Clover, Barney Cortez, and Patty Pershela. All 4 been on the show before. That's what we always do. But special lineup, just like the prior years. And all 4 of them we're just we recently got together just to kind of start to introduce ourselves to each other, and the dynamics of how they're working together is already palpable. So I think it's going to be yet another special night. Patty Pershela, similar journey to you, grew up in Michigan, was a performer there, and now lives in Nashville. So
come on.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, so very, very cool there. It seems like we always, each year so far, there's been a Nashville performer who actually was from somewhere else. Last year, it was John Worthy. He grew up in Pittsburgh and then moved to Nashville. So very similar, like, kind of journeys that always seems to happen. And we're thrilled this lineup is going to be great. But here's something that we do. I don't know if I think I've told you this, but either way, I was going to bring it up here. So last year, since Around the Corner kind of was the foundational song and then very much like anthemic for us in year 1, I brought it to the 4 performers in year 2, and I was like, would you be willing to learn this song? And then we got the chords and we got the lyrics, and so I just kind of wanted to play this for a quick second, and after it's playing for a little bit, I'll bring it down so we can talk about it. But here's the last year's 4 performers performing Around the Corner by Mike Maines.
One more song, right? We don't need to say it. Like, basically what we like to do on our show is ask the musicians to come up and all perform a song on stage together. So that's something that they agreed to, so you guys can start by making your way back up here. We wanted to acknowledge the fact, so like last year, where one of the performers on was Mike Maines of Mike Maines and the Branches, and he has a song called Around the Corner, and it kind of became somewhat of the anthem of last year's event, and he was very much kind of the inspiration behind bringing this type of event together. And so I asked the crew here if they would mind learning that song and performing it here for you. And so listen to the Dissonance players will now bring you Around the Corner. But let's hear it one more time. Brittany, Brian, Pat, and John. And also thank you to all of you for coming out tonight for a very special event. Yeah, thank you guys all. The song's called Around the Corner by Mike Maines.
hanging from a cross? Do you feel like your world is lost? When you're lying wide awake, counting every mistake, do you hate what you've become? Would you like to soak your heart in bleach, scrub it white till all the moths are clean? When you're staring in the mirror and that old black horse appears, do you hate what you become? Don't throw it all away. We've all made our mistakes. You never know what's waiting for you. Goodbye to yesterdays. Hello to brighter days. You never know what's around the corner. Do you feel like falling down your soul?
So thank you for letting us use this, of course.
Good grief, man. It's nice to hear somebody who can actually sing that song.
Well,
Voices are gorgeous, man.
Isn't that cool the way it came out with 4 different people in it?
It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's just rad. And it's that it felt like, I don't know, I think about like the 60s when everybody, you know, all the different folkies were like covering each other.
Sure.
It just feels like such an honor, you know, to have folks singing a song that I wrote at a really dark time in my life, and knowing that like part of the life of this song is inspiring a room full of people to keep talking about the importance of mental health. Like that's what it's all about, man. So thank you. Yeah, what an honor.
No, it's really, really, really quite cool. So, well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on for episode 200. Thank you for being interview number 1 for this show, and thank you for inspiring what has become a very special night of Listen to the Dissonance.
Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor of a lifetime. I'm grateful for you, Phil.
Absolutely. Thank you for you.
And congrats on 200 episodes, man.
Thank you. Well, we're going to let this play out, and we'll move on in the show. But thank you again, Mike.
It's an honor.
There was our chat with Mike Maines. Celebrating episode 200 here with him, and along with all of my good friends here who were prior guest hosts. Now James doesn't have a camera.
Really?
Yeah, no. He said,
did you turn it off?
Yeah, no.
I'm drawn.
Jeff's going to draw a picture of James. But the unfair advantage here is he has seen what you look like.
Yes.
You were going purely on psychic, premonition.
So still nothing there.
No.
Nothing.
Oh my gosh, that looks just like him.
I'll take it.
Well, we can hear you, so that's the more important part.
What's really hilarious, I see myself like on my screen. It shows
Oh, interesting.
Me.
I would say turn off the camera like in the software and turn it back on again. It'll probably come back on, to be honest.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
Oh, hold on.
Well, let's talk about the chat. Kate, you went to listen to the Dissonance last year, so you got to see that closing number live, and there's James.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to maybe start with you on this one too, where it's what that like the experience was, and kind of the way the bravery of the performers to kind of really share the deep and meaningful stories.
Well, first and foremost, I ran up to Cass after. I can't believe I didn't name her as one of the people that you introduced me to.
Sure, right, absolutely.
I ran up to her and I think I was just like, "I love you."
Mm-hmm.
What I said.
No, yeah.
I was so moved by it, and that interview with Mike. Wow, I mean, really, just so thoughtful, and what a hero! Really, what a hero!
Sure.
And the transformation of what he was going through. He took something. I mean, that's art, right? You take something tragic and you turn it into something beautiful, and he did that. Kudos. And to know the backstory of how Listen to the Dissonance, was born through listening to him. I mean, just really, thank you for having me be a part of this, first and foremost. But back to your original question. I'm sorry, I just had to get that out. I was so moved. I was sitting there and I was crying, but I just felt like, I've always had that feeling about art. I know it heals you. I know that. That's always been my experience in any form. And I've always loved music. I know the power of song, and it was alive and well, and like, I was the one with the pulse of the music that night. And, I ran up to Cass, met Cass, and then I dragged her into my life. I made her perform in a show that I did. And all because of you.
Yes. Cass was like, was the first person I asked to join year 2, because she has an incredible story. There's an interview with her as well to definitely go check out. But she has an anthemic track called Someone to Help You. And when she said yes to join the lineup, I was like, okay, there's going to be like certain elements of emotion for people to experience. And then there's going to be this hammer drop of her whole story and how she was a hero who came through it, especially for her child, and to just kind of survive through that. She was more adjacent to it and married to it, not necessarily, obviously it's affected her, but like it was more to do with how she journeyed through that. Anyway, definitely check out that. She just released an EP, so she's got music out there. And then again, there's the interview with her as well. But James, anything you would want to share either for Listen to the Dissonance or the Mike interview?
Oh my God. I mean, so I was part of not part of, but I went to year 1. I didn't make it to year 2.
Right.
So I saw Mike, and it was kind of funny because, Kate, it was very similar reaction, not just to him, but Sean, who
Sean Barna. Yep.
You just, after you see them and you're not like, hey, good show. You just go up and you hug them, because it's just, you feel it. I mean, no matter how deeply you've experienced any of those feelings, you probably know someone who has. And so you just, it's just such a time, man, watching the interview. There were things in the interview that, of course, I didn't realize either, the most recent one.
Right.
Not just the connection, but I didn't realize how close, like I knew he had experienced that, but I didn't realize how soon it was. It sounds like.
Yeah. It was so, I'll give you an interesting timeline. So the first time I ever saw him perform Music Fest was August of 23, I guess it would have been. And what I witnessed on stage was one of these people who was like the embodiment of like a rock and roll star. Like I wanted to be like him. Like I was just remembering who I was like as like a teenager, going like, I just want to be able to maneuver on stage and just have control of my voice and all this other stuff. Like he just was so inspiring as this like front man. Not little did I know, it was 6 months later he makes an attempt to take his own life. And 6 months after that, he's on my show talking about like his music. And we didn't get into the mental health thing too much on episode 1, but like that was a year's time frame where I saw somebody who looked like he had the power of like just all of the confidence in the world, yet he had none of it. And I think that's another element of to why for a musician it's so difficult, because they kind of almost have to act the part.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something to that starts to just wear away on you when you can't be genuine. And that's why I think he's become something else. Like, he's still that way on stage, but he's going to tell you in between those songs, instead of, hey, how's everybody doing tonight? He's going to say, by the way, here's a song that I wrote when a really dark time. And that's where it started to connect. And I just witnessed it right in front of me, the way it meant so much to this other audience member. And I was like, wow, okay. And I didn't know how the first year was going to go. Like, I was supremely nervous, because I thought it was going to be a good idea, but you don't know. And also, like, I don't want to ever have anybody feel like I'm somehow like thinking like I got it all figured out. I'm like, no, I'm hoping people understand we're just like going to hopefully create just a safe space where we don't have to whisper. We don't have to feel embarrassed. We're just going to talk about these things and hopefully find common ground and share some music that you can turn to. And luckily that's what it was. But like, I was so scared that first year.
No, even year one turned out great. It was just, I mean, you had great people there, but just the whole, and the Ice House is such a homey.
Yes, it is.
You know, just a natural place for it.
It's a very natural
everything
place
about it.
Yeah, a lot of that is, again, just the universe being lucky for me, that I was just like, think this will work, think these musicians are going to be good, think that venue will be a nice one for it, and then it all just kind of came together, and I was like, whew! And then reception was good, so I was like, all right, let's try year two, and then year two was good, and then here we are doing year three. Just real quickly, I'll bring up the lineup again for this year. Judah Kim, Clover, Barney Cortez, Patty Pershela. I don't know if any one of these have hit any of your ears yet, but all four have been on the show before, so there's interviews to check out. Again, the date is Friday, February 27th at the Ice House. And like we said in the interview, doors at 6, show at 7, so that you can also get to know some of the organizations that'll be tabling there. I've gotten a lot of confirmations that most of the same places will be back again. But Jeff, anything you would want to share, either from the interview or from this particular show?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I haven't been able to attend any of them. I actually was looking at my calendar while I was listening to the interview, going, 27, can I make 27? Yeah, I'll be here at this point in time. I can shoot up there.
Yeah, Texas is a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, think about Cass. Like I said, I haven't been at those shows, but I think I've gotten a taste of it.
Sure.
And I don't know if it was intentional, but I knew that there was a backstory, but I didn't know the backstory. And then here at the last music fest, she came to Godfrey Daniels and played for us.
Yes.
There was just a moment of like kind of silence and tears after she stopped playing, and it was just like, okay. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's a wonderful thing that you do. I think it's great that it's getting the traction that it is. I think there needs to be more conversation about these type of things, and to let people know that they're not alone. Everybody's going through different things at different times, and sometimes it's amazing to find out that there are people that are struggling with very similar things, and just having somebody to talk to,
to
speak about those things is great.
Yeah,
and opening that door for a conversation in a different way, I think is very cool.
Yeah, and I think if anybody has, more like suggestions on either musicians or songs, like we've put together a playlist of songs that are kind of touching on these topics, not only from people who have been on the show, but even like you can think of other songs that kind of touch on these topics. So like anything we can do, if there's other organizations that want to table at this event, please let us know. There's no charge. It's just a matter of being something that provides either counseling services or some form of support for people who are looking for that type of assistance. So please reach out, and we would love to have you there. But yeah, Greg, what we always joke about being Fun Greg and Fun Phil. This is the side of it where it doesn't always all have to be the fun side of it. Sometimes it is this other stuff that's just as important.
Well, you and I have had conversations many times about the music that these artists perform and produce it's incredible.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always appreciate the most, especially about musicians and artists that you bring on, is the story behind the scenes. And again, it's not all fun and games, and this is real life stuff. So to me, first of all, the interview was very powerful. But I always appreciate and love all these artists and the stories and the highs and lows that they've kind of gone through to get to where they're at and to what they can produce it's amazing. I mean, it really is. And just that story right there is very powerful, and it does just show the real side of everybody's life. It's not, there's highs and lows in everybody's life. So and how you deal with them. So
100%. So. I hope people, join in and tune in for that. We don't really release highlights from it. I'm going to see what I can do from last year's because we do record these, but there is an element to it that there's like that safe space in that room that we don't want to break even by just providing highlights from it. It's not so much to say you got to buy a ticket. It's more like it's like it's in that room and it's only in that room kind of thing. So we do keep the tickets pretty low. So it's like $10. It's something where we're trying not to necessarily make it a burden for somebody who wants to be there. And if you are struggling, you might also be struggling financially. So I don't want it to be where the ticket price would get in the way. And if it is even at $10, please reach out on that too. We wouldn't want to have that be a barrier to be there. But I think the important thing here is that this is simply just an offering there for people to hopefully find a connection, and like we said, that they don't necessarily feel as alone, and tomorrow is a little bit easier to get to. So thank you all for coming on tonight. We have another interview here with Smokey Brights, but I figured we'll kind of let this kind of play us out and let it be the way we kind of close out episode 200 here. But any parting words, anything coming up, any things anybody wants to share or promote? Kate, we are working on a show, so something might be coming together for October out here. So some little teasers there, but lots more things to pull together on that one. But there is maybe a first time offering from nextfavband, and Kate works with Inkwell along with a number of other venues in the area. So could be something cool brewing there.
Sign me up for the 300 episode.
Yeah,
I'll be on the list.
In 100.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll make it. But I mean, if you do,
right,
I'm here.
I do love the headwinds of Jeff Wentz's opinion is what drives me fully. Like I just want to.
The only thing keeping you going.
That's right. Keep my chin down and keep pushing ahead just to keep proving Jeff wrong. And we kind of also maybe have something else really cool brewing for December, which was actually my plan. I was like, all right, we did episode 100. Let's make a big deal out of 250. And then, like I said, the universe was like, Knucklehead, you never know if you're like, who knows? Like, just have fun and make this happen. So here we are at 200. But thank you all for coming on tonight. Thank you all for coming on any of these interviews along for the ride of those. And hopefully we can continue to do that. I love having, a good co-host here to come for the journey with me because, like I always say, no one wants to listen to me banter on by myself. So I'd rather have you all on to chat, and then we can bring on the musicians to share their genius. And
can we just do one thing?
Yes, please do.
That postcard back up. I just want to do one thing.
This here?
Yeah.
Oh, you want one where you can... Hang on, let me give you a better one here.
Do it.
Here, you can do it now.
I don't think it's that. No, put the other one back.
Okay.
I think I can do it.
Yes, there you go. Excellent. It's not an episode with Kate on it until she does some pantomime.
Thank you.
It's Marceau was one of her favorites. And if you're listening on the podcast, you'll have to check out the YouTube version.
Yeah.
I always enjoy. That's another thing that I love about being on air is because normally I just listen, and so this is just such a different. I'm like, oh, there's visuals. That's right. I forgot.
You're welcome.
There you go. All right. Well, again, thank you all, and then here we are again. Kate Hughes introduced me to Smokey Brights. And I'll say it on the interview, but I'll just remind everybody here, like 2 years running my Spotify Rap #1 band. So I think the only thing that's interesting about that is just how many different bands I listen to prep and research for the show. So for 2 straight years, that's been my #1. So that was why I thought, okay, they should definitely be on episode 200. So enjoy our chat here with Smokey Brights. So we are now here with Ryan and Kim from Smokey Brights. Thank you so much for coming on my 200th episode.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And not only that, but early morning on a weekend on your birthday. Can't thank you enough for setting aside the time.
Oh, yeah, totally. No, nothing I'd rather do.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. But also, this also is obviously a celebration and the honor I have had in you have become my next favorite band. Like 2 years running, my Spotify Wrapped top band I listened to. So in the first year, it made sense to me because obviously I'm listening to a lot of bands who are coming on the show to prep for the show, to find songs to feature and so on. Like actually in the background here, we're featuring an instrumental version of Never Hurts, Never Mind off of your latest album, which is my favorite track off that album. But that's the interesting part is, so in any given year, I always assume it's going to be somebody who I had on that calendar year's show. But when it gave it to me this last year for 2025, because your episode's from 2024, when it gave it to me for 2025, you were still number one. And I'm like, wow, I must really like this band.
we got in there. We got in there.
Yeah. Which I don't mean to say that that's a surprise, purely just from the amount that I listen to other bands for prep of the show. That's the only reason why I mentioned that. But to that point, like, I just think I always try and find, and it's funny, I just mentioned this story on the person who came on right before you for this episode, that sometimes people will just simply turn to me when they hear I do a show and it's called Your Next Favorite Band, almost as like a challenge. They'll be like, oh, so who should be my next favorite band? And what I need is bands who I know are like going to be universally liked. And so, because I don't necessarily, what I would love to do is dive into, well, who do you listen to and what's your favorite genres? Because I've had a lot of different people on the show. So I would want to customize it to what their listening habits are. But if I just simply don't have the time to do that, or the interest based on who the person is, I always want to just simply have a few people in my back pocket. And now Smokey Brights is one of those where I can just say, you're going to love this band. Go listen to them.
Yeah. Well, I'm so honored. Yeah. We try to make music for everybody.
Yeah.
Not non-specific, wishy-washy music, but, music
definitely.
Lots of different listeners will dig.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting. Like, obviously people can hop back to the episode that we did with you all to kind of hear more of the backstory. But it is interesting to get to where your sound is today compared to where you both were in your early years. Because, Ryan, you were more of a punk band of type. Mm-hmm. And then, Kim, if I understand it right, you were more singer-songwriter, whereas this landed in some sort of a dancey, anthemic, bangers. Like, they're just like... And it has such diversity to it. Like, they're not all the same. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where I'd love to hear if you had any thoughts around that journey and how you landed where you do today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been doing it for over 10 years. So, your music changes as you change through life, hopefully.
Right.
And
yes, one would hope.
But, like, there's so much stuff that influence how we approach it. Like, the fact that things are like dancier and you can move to them, I think is strongly influenced by the fact that we started DJing a lot.
Yeah.
Like I lost my job in publishing. There was a great arts magazine called City Arts here in Seattle, and it was ran out of advertising dollars, like so many print magazines do.
Yeah.
And one of the things that kind of covered the bills in between, jobs was DJing. You started doing it a lot more, and you get this different vantage where you like play a song and you see in a room the way people react to certain beats and certain energies.
Yeah.
And you're not having to look down at your thing or be like, I wrote this. It's not an ego thing. You're just kind of paying attention.
Right.
That really changed how we started arranging. Like I want a song you can drop into your DJ set.
Yeah.
And I think some of the fuzzier parts come from, we all grew up listening to a lot of grunge, a lot of
yeah.
I think being in the Northwest, you kind of also just get sort of a mossy cover to a lot of things.
Sure.
That's, and we also we all like sonic experimentation, which I think, I love a song where you hear there's at least one element to it. You're like, sort of pulls your ear, you know, something that's, oh, I didn't expect that.
Yes.
So
there's definitely that earworm hook to a lot of your tracks.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're just kind of, it's
just running little experiments in the studio, like
Yeah.
trying to create neat sounds, neat energies.
Yeah.
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 And we'd be remiss not to also kind of speak to the other members of the band, Luke and Nick, if you wouldn't mind kind of sharing a little bit about that, because I think, and we're going to get to example of this later on, because we have some live footage from a show I recently caught of yours in New York City. But I brought a friend of mine along with that, and like right off of your first track that you were playing that night, he turned to me. He didn't know anything about you all. He just trusted me to come along, which I loved. But he turned to me and he was just like, I wasn't expecting that. And what he was speaking to was the 3-part harmonies that you have.
Oh, yeah.
So he was like, oh, yeah, let's go. And then he got really into it from there. So anyway, if you don't mind speaking to what Luke and Nick do and bring to the sound.
Yeah. We're just very, very lucky to have two extremely talented friends that are the rhythm section of Smokey Brights. Nick Krivchenia, we met at the same pizza restaurant where we initially met. We were all co-workers.
I do love that. That is such a fun thing.
Pretty organic. Nick, he's got such a good feel. He's so precise. He's always so prepared. One of the best things about it is if you zoom in while we're playing live, you'll see his mouth moving the entire time.
I did notice that.
Sometimes he is singing Luke's bass part in order to lock in with it, and sometimes he's just going like subdividing. It's so funny, it's so cool, So Nick is really the backbone in a lot of ways, and then Luke joined 9 years ago.
It's our newest member.
Our newest member. He wasn't the original member.
He's the new guy.
Right. That's awesome.
Luke's just massively talented. Like we kind of first worked with him doing a New Year's Eve production here in Seattle.
Oh, right. Yeah, you do that really cool thing every year.
It's like a big night of covers where everyone just goes all out. And Luke is the musical director, so he's writing all the horn parts and figuring out all of the vocal harmonies and just kind of arranging this whole rodeo, and is just a really he's just cool-headed professional dude. And so when it came time to like, wow, we really want to tour and take this to the next level, Luke arrived at just the right time. And like you said, like we now have these 3-part harmonies. Luke grew up in a family
of folk singers.
They sang together.
They all sang Peter, Paul, and Mary songs together, and they all would find a different harmony, and it is the cutest freaking thing I've ever heard in my life. He met his family too. Like they're just the most adorable, wonderful.
Love it.
You're sweet, smart people.
So it just really is. Yeah, it was a really good match.
Yeah, it's a good alchemy. And those guys are just. They're so locked.
And they can pack a van like you wouldn't believe. when we did that East Coast tour, we saw you on. We have a big Chevy Express van for when we leave out of Seattle, but when we fly in, we have to rent something, and we borrowed Nick's family's Toyota Sienna, which was awesome, except for Toyota Sienna is not quite the same size as a 15 passenger.
A van, yeah, exactly.
It was like they spent probably 90 minutes figuring out the perfect way to configure everything. Not a single square inch.
Like a Tetris game. Like
Ryan and I had like an amp case in between us in the back as our like table.
Nice.
The throne was in between the amp case on the floor. Yes. I looked at it and I said, no way. And I walked away.
This is not my strength.
Anyway, I mean, we're above all, we're a really good unit, we just did 5 weeks of touring. No fights, no blowouts, no hurt feelings. Everyone just like working for the common goal of putting on the Smokey Brights show every night. And, we feel really, really grateful.
Yeah, that's awesome. He does like get some really cool, in addition to the harmonies, the bass lines and what it sounds like. That comes like I love putting on Unity to just simply listen
yeah.
to that. It's borderline Radiohead-esque in its
Yes.
filthiness.
Yes.
Dude.
I think he literally used this fuzz pedal called the Unpleasant Companion because it's featured on a Radiohead song.
Oh, cool. So that's what it immediately made me think of, which was kind of like exit music to a film is the one song.
It did the boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. Yes, they are using the Unpleasant Companion,
so
the exact same fuzz pedal.
I'm so happy my ears picked that
your
up.
super ear, my friend. Yes,
that's fantastic.
Sound.
Yeah. That makes me happy. So I will say most of that gear conversation is still much lost on me, but I'm talking more and more about it because it's so interesting, and musicians tend to love to talk about it, and they think no one wants to hear it. So I've started doing more of these episodes called Behind the Sound. We'll have a new one coming out soon. I typically do it when it's a tribute band that is phenomenal, because obviously a tribute band isn't going to introduce somebody to their next favorite band. It's a cover. Like I've done a Radiohead band. I've done the one that'll come out soon is Talking Heads tribute band. But the two bands are so good at creating it that I always am like, can we just learn, like, how do you create that sound that sounds so much like it? And then they're like, well, it's this pedal and this, and I got this over here, and nobody wants to hear about that. I'm like, no, a lot of people want to hear about this. It's still one of our most popular episodes is these ones that go out about kind of like, how did you create that sound? So I think I'm just being a little bit more cognizant and aware of that, and so I think that's what's contributing to it as well. But yeah, it's definitely a very cool sound.
Awesome. Yeah, no, the gear thing is an endless wormhole.
Yep.
And we have so many pedals and esoteric instruments and vintage stuff. But at the end of the day, they are just tools to get to a feeling.
Right. And I do love when somebody inevitably says, like, they're going through their rig, and they'll be like, and this pedal I use for one chorus of one song.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like the amount of time, effort, energy, revenue, everything that's going to keep that thing on that rig just for that one moment.
But you got to have it.
But and then that's the thing but you could just tell as an artist, as a creative, they're like, but I'll just not play the song if I don't have that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It is so fun. So I wanted to get into at least one track here from your current album, and in particular also the video to it. So let me bring in here this, and then we're going to speak to here.
Anticipation.
I'm hard to hold. I'm a gravel road. If someone walks on me, I'm gonna let them know. I'm a bitter root, but you can make me sweet. Just give me time, give me heat. Now I'm waiting in the shallows of the river, and the currents never change. I've never seen that water flow backwards, and I know you're the same. I know that you can't save me, but can I get a reaction? 'Cause I've been waiting all this time. Maybe I could.
So in a lot of your videos, you feature the beauty of the Pacific Northwest. This one here, we're a little bit more in a fancy world.
Well, we thought it was important to feature the Pacific Northwest dragons and
They're somewhere up there.
Mythical creatures.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's obviously the experimentation with AI here, and I just kind of wanted to hear like some of that, just where the inspirations came from, and it's a gorgeous video. I mean, and the song's phenomenal. So it's just such a nice combination of all that.
Oh, thank you. I mean, yeah. So the inspiration behind this was our friends Silas and Julie, Silas Dahl and Julie Kevin. They have a great production company, Dahl Productions, and we have worked with them extensively.
Yeah.
So we first got matched up because Silas was making this awesome horror movie called Bravery, and he really wanted to work with almost exclusively Pacific Northwest artists on the soundtrack. So we ended up recording a special cover for the movie, and we wrote an original for the movie, and then they used 2 or 3 other Smokey songs. And then he really loved working with us, and he weirdly felt indebted to us. So he wanted to make a music video. And the first music video that they made with us was the 72 music video, which I don't know if you've seen that one, but we made it in March of 2020. It was it was this
perfect.
Yeah, it was this fantastic shoot where we got it at Silas's old middle school with all of these middle school students in the drama department. It's just one of my favorite music videos.
Mm-hmm.
And
it ended up being the last in-person thing all of these students got to do.
Right.
3 years. So then, we've sort of just been doing that. It's now been every record we've put out since I Love You But Damn that we've done a music video with these guys. So
Yeah.
For Levitator, that Resolutions video
Mm-hmm.
looks so beautiful and professional. That was also Silas and Julie and their whole crew. And then for Dashboard Heat, we were frankly at the end of any budget, any capacity to make any more content for this release. We'd made 3 music videos. We'd done kind of the whole thing. And
Sure.
they approached us and they were like, we have to do a music video.
Mm-hmm.
It's tradition.
Yeah.
Smokey's release without doing a music video for you guys. And we were like, well, let's just do something really, really basic. We just barely have any money left. So
right.
So we're like, what if we do a one shot on the Washington coast? And they were like, sure, something like that.
And those guys are, they're professional filmmakers, and they're always pushing their craft and trying new tools.
Sure.
And yeah, Silas has been integrating AI tools into, real traditional filmmaking. The base shot of everything in that is a real shot that was well composed.
Yeah, the Pacific Northwest really is that beautiful.
Yeah, yes.
No, right.
But
it totally is.
Yeah, he's kind of integrated a workflow that he's like, I don't think anyone else is really doing this. So it was just kind of a sandbox to play around in, and AI tools are here.
Right.
And, this was kind of fun in terms of just let's see if we can make something, truly beautiful that we would not be able to make without the aid of these tools. And it's been an interesting thing. Some people, we all have really strong feelings about AI.
Sure.
And this was just kind of an attempt to, they're here, they're in our face. Let's make Let's make something truly kind of beautiful and memorable.
You said that you can't do any other way anyway.
Yeah.
You can't talk to a gnome smoking a pipe.
Our gnome budget was non-existent, so we had to.
Right.
It's really just it's another creative relationship where we just kind of put the trust in our creative friends. And this is what they came up with, and I think it's very epic and beautiful.
It is. It absolutely is.
And the shoot was, we shot all those shots. It was 2 days of just kind of very finding beautiful places, setting up the right shot, doing it, moving, for
And we were in the Olympic rainforest for those tree shots, and we all walked away with so many mosquito bites.
So extreme. All of those beach shots, we really did make that bedroom on the beach. And it really
That was not AI.
No, that was not AI. And it really was that windy. And
Mhm.
and it was like every day was sort of a different kind of extreme.
Yeah.
And, like, we'd have to shoot in between fishermen, like fishing into the
right.
Or like people you can drive on the beach in Washington, so people
Yeah.
like cruising through with their trucks.
No, I was talking to some other musician, and he was like walking what was pretty obviously like New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, something like that. I was like, "How did you get nobody in the shot?" He's like, "Oh, it's 4:30 in the morning at that point." I'm like, "But still, like,
You gotta get creative on that sometimes. Like,
yeah." But that commitment to doing it the right way for the artist.
Yes.
But that is cool. And then again, like, I think your catalog should be checked out on YouTube because in addition to the cool videos, a lot of your, I think it was COVID times where you were recording yourselves just performing in spaces as a band. And sometimes with additional Seattle band members, whether it was for the radio station or for your own use, some of those performances, it's a way to get like an experience of the live, but this pre-recorded thing of just like you guys performing, and the sound is so good. Like it's just so good to just capture some of those songs in a live setting for people to kind of capture it again. Since for me, it was the only way I could check out what a live performance was like because I'm in East Coast and you're West Coast. But we did luckily get to catch a live performance recently.
Thanks for recommending those. Yeah, we put a lot of love into
yeah, you can tell.
We did a good number of live performances, some on stages, some in studios.
Yes.
I think the live Smokey show is so special. We just wanted to be able to
Agreed.
share.
Yeah.
And before we pivot to that, I did also want to have you speak to another element to your music is very often in the spirit of social justice. So we mentioned the song Unity earlier. You have All in Who You Know, a couple others, that you don't steer clear of a possible political message in your music. And I love that. So I just kind of wanted to moment to speak to that as well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I guess it's not really even an explicit choice. I think it's just we both write from where we feel and experience. And if you're a person connected to the world in whatever way it is for you, it's impossible not to be aware of and engaged and concerned about about what's going on. So it's funny. We just played in Seattle last week. We had a Fuck Ice event. I don't know if I don't hear, but
yeah, absolutely you can.
Yeah,
I'll say it again then.
Yeah,
Fuck Ice.
I was really proud of it because we booked the show and it was 4 days later and we sold it out, and we put out an email to our whole email list, which is quite a number of people, and I think we had 5 unsubscribes, which at first I was like very upset that we had 5 people following us that would unsubscribe or something like that. And then I was also like, you know what, that's
pretty low.
That's pretty low numbers.
I would say that's very low.
Yeah, and it was funny in making the set list for that because it was like, what songs can we play from our catalog that will be appropriate for a Fuck Ice event? And it was like, damn, what's not appropriate for this? It was
sure, absolutely. Yeah, and then even if it's not truly like on the nose political, it's still some of your songs are strong messaging or strong, commentary around like even mental health. Like sometimes I'll just turn to your song Broken 2 just to kind of listen to it. Like it's just such a beautiful song about
love that one.
Yeah, like being not alone in a difficult or dark time. I just think it's a great song for that.
Yeah. I think as artists, like we always say, like we deal in emotion.
Yeah.
Like that, if you're a thinking, feeling person in this moment, you have a lot of emotions about what's going on. And
and it's impossible to separate that from the political, you know?
Well, and if I could even add something is I have 3 children all in their early 20s, and they're looking at what the hell world am I now inheriting?
Yes.
And to have musicians to like basically provide the "this isn't okay" commentary, I think is helpful because it helps them understand like this isn't the way it needs to be or should be, and we just need to rally around change, like and not accepting it. So like I just think that that's another element of where musicians really help is giving the up and coming leaders of our communities a little bit of a voice or a platform to say, I can now feel good about that. I'm not alone in that this isn't okay. So I think that's another element. And I think the musicians, the bards of the world will help people hear the truth and the stuff that is tragically unacceptable.
That's one of the big roles of art is it's to scare the oppressor and to pass a little light on to those that are being oppressed.
Correct. Yeah. So again, kudos and thank you for having that as part of it, because it is obviously just an additive element of the art to have it be these beautiful melodies and rhythms, but then also to have lyrics that are so deeply meaningful to people. I think is great.
Yeah. We'd love to be writing about other stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe 10 years into the Smokey's future, we'll be writing about how great our universal health care is and how much we're taking care of her poor.
The research of birds.
And just a nice sunny day might be nice too. Or rainy, whatever. It's beautiful regardless. Yes. So thank you for that. Thank you for coming on my 200th episode.
Support, Philip.
Yeah, no, I mean, like this is, I get excited when I find a band that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to share this with. It might be a specific person, or it might be just the experience of I could put this out there and maybe it'll catch someone else's ears. I'm like, oh yeah, that's so cool. So this is what it's all about. But before we close, I kind of wanted to bring on the live experience. And it's yet another one of those songs. It's when you performed No Getting Out in New York City. And so I'm going to let it play here, and then I'll bring it down, and we can kind of speak to, this particular, either this particular performance or just the tour or just live performances in general. But here, take a listen to No Getting Out.
In a silhouette to the city, I know. I keep turning around, trying to find who's turning the screws. But there's no way to hide when the smoke is chasing you. And there's no getting
Thought when you talked about him moving his mouth during the drumming that I had captured that, and you can see it in plain sight.
You can see a little nick.
But I mean, I also got caught on this one because I was vibing to this song while I was recording, and someone had posted their version of the video and tagged you, so you redid it, and I'm in basically dancing and moving while I'm doing this recording. But now, because that person was one or two bodies behind me, I got caught in their video doing it, and I'm like, what an idiot I look like. But
no idiocy while we're reacting to music we love.
But here's the 3-part harmonies we were talking about, and just I think it came across in your reaction and with this song is there is just such emotion and uplift with your music that it's just you can just feel it. It gives you chills as you listen to it, and live even better than the recordings.
Oh, thank you.
We love playing live. That is, I always just say we're a bunch of show ponies. COVID was hard. It was really hard to, it did force us to make a lot more online content, but I gotta say, performing for Instagram is not the same as performing for a room full of people that are there with you. It's that exchange of energies.
Yeah.
And people always thank. I've had so many people thank us when they come to our shows. And I'm like, dude, thank you. This is so much more alive when we're all in it together. It's intoxicating.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That's what you're creating it is for that in-room live energy exchange experience.
Yeah. We need that.
Yeah.
It's a holy thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I hope we get to see that again soon in 2026.
Yes.
And I'll keep my fingers crossed for all the different possible experiences there too. And also just to be able to say hello in person. That was so great to be able to see you all and to see
Really nice to meet you in person. Thank you for checking out to New York City.
Yep, absolutely. For everyone else out there, go see a Smokey Brights show if it's anywhere within driving distance.
Yes.
Ryan, Kim, thank you again so much for coming on the show.
Thank you
for having us.
Yeah, thanks for all the support and for just supporting musicians in general and
Yes.
spotlighting independent artists.
Yeah.
200 episodes. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome.
Well, all right. Well, happy 200th.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed episode 200 of Your Next Favorite Band. We'd like to sincerely thank Mike Maines and Ryan and Kim of Smokey Brights, as well as my incredible guest co-hosts tonight, Kate Hughes, Greg Provenzo, James McLean, Jeff Wentz. You can see them dotted throughout the various episodes I've done, and hopefully more and more as we go forward. There's plenty of other guest co-hosts that I've had on the show. Some people just couldn't make it tonight. Some people, just life happens. So it's like, it was just an incredible thing. And this wasn't for any other reason other than just kind of hopefully keeping the conversation going around helping people find their next favorite band. That's kind of what it's all about. So I loved hearing all those stories, and any ones that you might have out there, would love to hear those as well. Hopefully we get to see you at a live show soon, where you can tell me that in person, but also if it's too far away or just can't link up, always just drop us a note either by email or direct message on social media. nextfavband.com has all of our prior interviews, so there you go. 199 other ones other than tonight. You can go hear about some of the ones that we mentioned here today specifically, or just kind of randomly pick one. And like I said, hopefully it's your next favorite band. Here's to the next 200. Thank you, and hope to see you at a live show soon.